Hey guys, since today's my birthday, I wanted to do something a little bit differently than just doing another movie review. I wanted to go over all of my Blu-ray and 4K collection and share it with you guys because this is something I've been interested in doing for a while, and there's many people online that do it themselves as well. And I have done stuff like this in the past with some hauls I've gotten for my birthday before, but never to this extent. Now you're going to be seeing everything, and this is going to be a lot. I mean, I do own a lot of Blu-rays and 4Ks, not as much as, others, but my collection is slowly growing more and more. And there are going to be some stories along with some of these movies, but also, there's a lot here, and I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm just gonna go through some of them very quickly and share it with you guys. So anyway, let's get started by going through my Blu-rays and my 4Ks. So I've just got a box here of all of my stuff, and it's gonna be an absolute mess, but we're gonna start with The Age of Innocence. Absolutely love this movie. Have not watched the Criterion yet, but I plan to very soon. Next is another Criterion. It is Heaven's Gate, the 3.5-hour cut, director's cut. This movie is awesome. It's long. It's kind of boring at times, but it is a magnum opus for sure for Michael Cimino. I am glad that I own this. Next here we have, my big Blu-ray set of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The Lord of the Rings trilogy means absolutely so much to me. These were the first films that I ever saw in theaters. I was very young at the time, 5, 6, 7, and these movies have stuck with me from the very moment I watched them on the big screen. I love these to death, and I keep the Blu-rays around because they come with the behind the scenes, and I love them so much. So that collection is fantastic. Next, we have Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Twin Peaks is my favorite show of all time, right in front of Lost, which is another one of my absolute favorites, and this is the movie on Criterion. I love this movie. It is messy at times, but it has one of my favorite performances, period, from, I can't even remember her name at the moment, but Laura Palmer's actress. Next, we have The Last Temptation of Christ. I frickin' love this movie. Willem Dafoe is so great. It's one of Martin Scorsese's absolute best, I think. It's a really good religious experience. Next, we have the 6-movie collection of the Mission Impossible movies on Blu-ray. I love the Mission Impossible franchise and have not seen Dead Reckoning Part 1 yet, but I plan to very, very soon. That's in need of a rewatch for sure. Next, we have Blade Runner 2049, one of the best sequels ever made and one of my favorite movies of all time. You'll be seeing a 4K of that very soon. Next we have, speaking of, it's the same, or not the same director, but he did go on to do this, but it's from a director from the past. It is Dune by David Lynch, who did Twin Peaks. And this movie is kind of dull, kind of boring, kind of interesting. Not the best in the world, but I like watching it from time to time. Next, we have a really freaking good movie that I have not watched in a very long time, The Martian. This is an awesome Ridley Scott film. Okay, what do we have next? We have Troy, director's cut. Freaking love this movie. I love the epics of the early 2000s. They're just so much fun. And this director's cut is amazing, aside for the Achilles and Hector fight that uses some music from the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes, which feels out of place. Now we have one of my favorite movies of all time, The Deer Hunter. I really want to get the 4K of this by Shout Factory, but as it stands, I love this Blu-ray so much. Next, we have a movie I have not watched since I, bought this, Wind River. This is in need of a rewatch. This is a really good film. All right. The Snowman, enough said. Really bad movie. Exodus, Gods and Kings. I have not seen this since the theater. I do really want to rewatch this to see if it was as boring as I remember it being. Next, we have It, Chapter 1. Freaking love this movie. Not as big of a fan not as big of a fan as the second one, so, but freaking love this one. Next, we have Blu-ray Steelbook of A Star is Born. I absolutely love this film to death. This is a really great film. I love all the A Star is Born movies. I find them so interesting that this one just keeps getting remade, and my entire pile just fell to the ground. Next, we have the Peanuts movie. Really, really great movie. Okay. Next, we have In the Mouth of Madness. I recently reviewed this for October. I love this movie to death. This is probably my favorite John Carpenter movie, which isn't for everybody, but I love its style. I love the world. I love the characters, and all the stuff to do with H.P. Lovecraft is pretty awesome. All right, so let me get these out of the way. Next, we have a movie I haven't seen in a while, but it is Stronger, directed by David Gordon Green before he went crazy, and not making good movies. But this is a really good, powerful movie, and Jake Gyllenhaal gives a really good performance. Next, we have one of my favorite Star Wars movies, period. Shut up, everybody that hates on anything of the sequel trilogy. The Force Awakens. Freaking love this movie. I could put this in any day, any moment of the day, and just love it. It's so easy to watch. Next, we have the only Hobbit movie that I own the theatrical cut of, because I really wanted to watch it as soon as it came out on Blu-ray, and that is Battle of the Five Armies. I don't have the others, just this one. I do have the extended cuts, though. Next, we have, where is the other ones? They should be here somewhere, but this is, obviously, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. I love this movie. I love the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, even when they don't get very good. I just love the franchise so much. Next, we have No Time to Die, the final Daniel Craig Bond film, and this is a really good high note to end on for him. Next, we have one of the most racist things I've ever seen. It's Gods and Generals, which I did a recent review of. This movie is like 4.5 hours, and it's not very good and pro-Confederate. All right. Next, we have, Captain America, Winter Soldier. Very good movie. And then, next we have The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2 movie collection. I recently got the Disney Movie Club version of this, which has a far better cover, but this is one of my favorite animated films of all time. All right. Some of these I got from my best friend. He just gave them to me, like Atlantis, The Lost Empire, and Milo's Return. I haven't watched this Blu-ray copy yet. Same with The Emperor's New Groove and Kronk's New Groove. And then also, I guess just to be funny, my friend gave me John Wayne is Cahill, United States Marshal. I know nothing about this movie at all, but maybe one day I will watch it. We'll see. Alright, so next we have Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Cut. A better version of the theatrical cut, but still not a great movie in my opinion. But it has some interesting ideas that I like. The Last Samurai, love this movie. Blade Runner, the final cut. I'm not a big Blade Runner fan, but I love the sequel so much. But, you know, I have to own this because, you know, Blade Runner completionist. Next is Apocalypse Now. This comes with the regular version and the Redux cut, 4K. Next we have one of my favorite movies of all time, Zodiac, the extended cut. Love this movie to death. Alright, let's see, what do we have here? I have a 3-movie pack. It's all Schwarzenegger stuff. It is Commando, Predator, and The Terminator. Have not watched any of the movies on that Blu-ray yet. Next we have Saw 6 and Saw the Final Chapter. I do own the first 5 on DVD. I need to eventually get those on Blu-ray. And yeah, I love the Saw franchise. Even when they get pretty terrible. Next we have Red Dawn. I don't care for this movie at all. It's not very good, I think. Next we have Watchmen Director's Cut. I love this movie. This is the best thing that Zack Snyder has ever made. And I do not think that he understands Watchmen at all. But he still made a good movie nonetheless. Alright, next we have Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. Fun fact, I actually think I prefer the theatrical version to this, which is not shared by many people, but I think this is a good cut. But, I don't know, maybe I've just grown up watching the first cut, you know, so much that, you know, I'm just, anything different, I'm like, eh. Next we have Deliverance. I have not seen this movie. I really want to. And then, let's see here. We have The 7-Year Itch, a Marilyn Monroe movie that I have not watched. I think my best friend gave me that. Then we have Passion of the Christ. I am somebody that does love this movie. I think it does what it set out to do, and it does get very slow after the second half. Then we have the Superman the movie extended cut. This is a extended TV version that's like 3 hours long, and it's not perfect, but it is kind of cool to see. Next we have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love this movie. I think this is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. Then we have Ben-Hur, absolute classic, love it. And then we have the other Ben-Hur, not a classic, but I do not think is as bad as people say it is. Then we have a movie I still have not seen, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. You know, I'm gonna end up breaking these. Okay, so next we have Gladiator. This is a really good movie that I'm not as big into as other people are. The sequel I'm very interested in, though. Then we have the extended cut of The Patriot, which I've never seen all the way through, but maybe I should very soon. Then we have Avengers Age of Ultron, underrated. My favorite movie of all time, Alexander, the Ultimate Cut. This version comes with a theatrical cut as well. It's a nice box. I'm hoping for a 4K eventually. Maybe, hopefully. It is the 20th anniversary, after all. Alright, then we have a triple feature that includes a bunch of Scorsese films, The Departed, Goodfellas, and The Aviator. All fantastic movies. And then we have another Robin Hood movie, the Ridley Scott Robin Hood with Russell Crowe, which I have not seen for a very long time. I remember liking it, pretty alright. Then another Russell Crowe movie that I've only seen once and is in need of a revisit, Master and Commander. Alright, so moving on, I have this big Christopher Nolan collection. I was really big into Christopher Nolan when I was in high school. So this comes with Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Inception, Memento, and Insomnia. All fantastic films, and 3 of those are, well, wait, no, 1, 2, yep. 3 of those are some of my favorite movies of all time. Next, I have Mission Impossible Fallout on its own. X-Men Apocalypse, I think, is very underappreciated. I absolutely love it. It's just a very cool comic book movie. Then we have The Curse of Michael Myers, the Producer's Cut, or otherwise known as the better cut, in my opinion, but it's still not that great. Then we have Miller's Crossing. I watched a little bit of this, but not all of it. So this is in need of a rewatch. I do like the Coen brothers, and I'm interested to see what my thoughts would be on some of their earlier work. All right, so next we have one of the best movies that came out in that year, Argo. And then one of my favorite animated movies, I already talked about it, but this is the Hunchback of Notre Dame cover that I really, really love. All right, next, finally we came across another one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, At World's End. Then we have Young Frankenstein, and I love this cover so much. This is one of my favorite movie covers ever for a Blu-ray, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I really want to get the 4K of Snow White because I hear it's very good. But yeah, I love this cover so much. All right. Moving right along, we have Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. I think is a underappreciated sequel. Then we have one of my favorite Steelbooks ever. It's Glass, which is not a perfect movie. Some people don't like it, but I love this art so much. I had to get this Steelbook. Then we have, finally, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. One of my favorite movies of all time. It's just a really good time. All right, so what do we have next? Prisoners, my introduction to Denis Villeneuve. Detroit, frickin' amazing movie. I wish it did better in theaters. Some of the best performances I've seen, and absolutely chilling. Then we have Ant-Man. Silence, another Scorsese film that is fantastic. This is not a movie, but it is one of my favorite shows of all time. It's Mad Men. The Last Jedi, yes, my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. Toy Story 4, yes, this movie is fantastic. I will not hear anything different. Okay, Dances with Wolves, the 4-hour cut. This is a really good movie. War for the Planet of the Apes, fantastic end to that trilogy. The Dark Crystal, awesome puppetry. Gangs of New York. Dunkirk, Interstellar, Lost, Season 6 in particular. I got this from my best friend because he got one with the slipcover and gave me his old one. Then we have my favorite X-Men movie of all time, Days of Future Past, Crazy Rich Asians, The Wind Rises, Logan, which also comes with the noir cut. Let's see here. Oh, yes. My extended editions of the Hobbit trilogy. I love these cases so much, and they come with all those glorious special features. Next, we have Get Shorty, a movie that my best friend gave me that I still need to watch. Same with The Big Year. The Da Vinci Code. I remember seeing that in theaters. I read the book. It's all right. A movie that I absolutely love is 10 Cloverfield Lane. Dark Shadows. Some of these I just, my best friend's getting rid of movies, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take yours. Paddington 2, one of my favorite movies of all time. I preferred over the first one. Doctor Sleep, one of the best sequels ever made. The director's cut in particular is the version to watch. Freaking love this movie, and it makes me look at The Shining in a whole new way. Hacksaw Ridge, fantastic movie. Lawrence of Arabia, a absolute masterpiece. Boyhood, I liked it back then. I need to revisit it. Sometimes it was a little boring, but I thought it was all right. The Witch, one of my favorite horror movies of all time. This movie really gets under my skin, scares me in a way that other horror movies just do not. It's all about the dread for me. Then we have 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Life of Pi. I got this one a while back too. This is a Daniel Craig collection with Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, and Skyfall. I still don't own the 4th one. Next we have Angels and Demons on Blu-ray. I think is better than the Da Vinci Code, but still, pretty alright. Captain Phillips. Frozen. Love that movie. 12 Years a Slave. Perfect. One of the most important movies ever made. One of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life. A Tyler Perry drama. Acrimony is absolutely insane. Kingsglaive, Final Fantasy 15. I got this so I could understand the beginning of Final Fantasy 15, the video game. And then Samurai Cop 2, which I do not own the first Samurai Cop 2, but I hear this movie is not very, very good. So I can't believe I forgot about these two. They were just kind of hiding, but I also have In Time, which I just got from my best friend for my birthday. And then I have Kingdom of Heaven, the Ultimate Cut, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is my favorite Ridley Scott movie. And then lastly, we have Gettysburg Director's Cut, which is a far better movie than Gods and Generals. So then that is everything on that side. So now there are a few Blu-rays left, but I will just continue on with some of my 4Ks that I have here. So first thing I'm going to show off is my 4 movie collection Steelbooks of The Hunger Games. I love The Hunger Games so much. I love these movies to death, and That set is fantastic. Next, we have 1776. This is a really cool musical and comes with plenty of cuts of the movie. One of them is a Laserdisc cut that's like 3 hours. Next, we have one of my favorite movies of all time, Big Fish. This is my favorite movie that Tim Burton has ever done. Then we have a movie that didn't get a lot of recognition, but I think really does deserve it. It's just my kind of movie, and it's Babylon. The 4K on this looks amazing. Next, we have the regular 4K Blu-ray of Avatar. Absolutely love the 2 Avatar movies that we've gotten so far. And then we have the Steelbook of The Way of Water. Next, we have the Cinderella 4K Steelbook. I love Cinderella, and this 4K is amazing to look at. Then we have the Dark Knight trilogy, absolutely a must-have in anyone's collection. Then we have Elvis, which was my second favorite movie of 2022. Absolutely love this. This is Baz Luhrmann's best film, I think. Then we have the Hobbit trilogy on 4K, which I have not watched yet. Independence Day, which I did a recent review of. This 4K looks amazing. Another Criterion, Mulholland Drive, 4K. Spartacus, 4K, still need to re-watch that. Heat, which I've never seen, but plan to very soon. Now this, let's see. I'll hold off on those. Next, we have one of the best 4Ks I've ever seen. It is Planet Earth 2. The 4K on this is amazing. Oh, yeah, here we go. Another double dose of some Avatar. These are the new special editions that they made that come with the extended cut of Avatar 1 on 4K and deleted scenes and stuff for Avatar 2. These are great, and yes, I double dip because I love Avatar that much. Another one of my favorite movies of all time. It's the Shout Factory stuff from JFK. 3 discs or 3 cases. Absolutely amazing movie. Blade Runner 2049. I need to watch the 4K of this very soon. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Fantastic movie from A24. Singing in the Rain. Still need to rewatch that. Same with The Maltese Falcon. Then next we have another Humphrey Bogart movie, Casablanca, and the 4K of The Batman in Steelbook. And then we have The 10 Commandments, one of the best 4Ks I've ever seen. Does have some problems. My 4K player has trouble reading the disc because it's so chunky. Bram Stoker's Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola. Very good, horny movie, but it looks great. Same with 1917. It's not horny, it's just a great movie. Then we have 2 movies that I recently got, both Stanley Kubrick films, 2001: A Space Odyssey and The Shining, which I hear are 2 of the best 4Ks out there. Then we have The Wizard of Oz, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the ultimate cut of Watchmen in 4K, that's amazing, To Kill a Mockingbird, one of my favorite movies of all time, and Titanic, another one of my favorite movies of all time. Top 10. Alright, we're nearing the end here. Next we have Schindler's List. Excellent, excellent 4K. Thelma and Louise, I recently watched this for the first time, and it's one of my favorite movies now. It's amazing. Smile, this was kind of a disappointment. It looks good on 4K, but it's nothing that special. Psycho. The 4K of Curse of the Black Pearl, which I genuinely don't think is as bad as people say it is, but I do understand why people hate on this. I would rather just watch the Blu-ray. This 4K is absolutely amazing. It's The Prince of Egypt. And then here's another good 4K. I've only watched the first two of these, but it's The Mummy trilogy on 4K. Then we have The Lord of the Rings on 4K, which these look really good. Then we have Les Miserables, a imperfect musical that I absolutely love. Knock at the Cabin, Jaws, and then I was given this by one of my friends. It's Inferno, which finishes up the trilogy of films starting with Da Vinci Code. All right, so next we have How to Train Your Dragon, the entire trilogy. And this set, which I didn't realize was so rare now, but it's the 50 years of Planet of the Apes. And this comes with every single film in the franchise, plus the 4Ks of the new trilogy. I love the Planet of the Apes movies, and that is no exception. Okay, and then here are movies that I just picked up today with my birthday money. The Steelbook of Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Love the movie to death. I said I love The Hunger Games, and that movie is no different. Then I picked up The Best of Mickey, which comes with the Blu-ray of Fantasia and Fantasia 2000, and then a Celebrating Mickey cartoon, which is pretty cool. And then these I got recently, and this one, I own this movie, and it's kind of crazy. I own it because it is an important movie to watch that we all should watch, but we also need to recognize its faults and what it has done in terms of the landscape that we live in, and that is The Birth of a Nation. This is a Kino classic. It's a very difficult film to watch, a difficult film to process. The fact that this got made and brought back the KKK in such a big way, it's really heartbreaking thinking about it. But it's a movie that we need to watch. We need to understand it, and we need to learn how to move forward from it. Then next we have this beautiful steelbook of the first Dune. Love the movie, love the second one even more. And then finally we have 12 Angry Men, one of the best movies of all time. And that is my collection of all of my 4Ks and my Blu-rays. There's a few that I didn't show off, such as getting out all my Blu-rays for like Game of Thrones and my Twin Peaks Blu-rays. So I wasn't gonna bring all of those out, and those are just all the movies that I own right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought I would do something for you guys for my birthday, so thank you all for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and stay positive.